Hi and welcome everyone. Today I have a product review of some oil pastels from Paul Rubens and some Arrtx acrylic markers. They were kindly sent to me and I'm really excited to try them out. I usually use these kind of markers in my mixed media projects, and I also enjoy using oil pastels as a final layer and also in my sketchbook. I will start with the oil pastels and I will show you the swatches of them, and I will make a piece of artwork in my art journal at the end of this video. I am not an oil pastel painter, so that means I don't know what the properties are you need if you paint a complete painting with oil pastels, because I never do it. I use it, as I said, in my sketchbook to just add some final details, or just for playing, or on mixed media pieces to add more marks and scribbles and color. The set I have here is the 48 set, and there is also an extra white, a silver and a gold in this box, though, so these three colors don't count to the 48 colors. I think you need white a lot for blending, and here I'm just counting if I'm right with the amount of oil sticks, but yes, you get 51 oil sticks. I will now swatch the oil pastels in my Royal Talents sketchbook, and the white is invisible because the lighting is a bit too light here, but I will give you photos over on the blog so you can have a close-up look. The first three colors are pretty light, which I really like. I think you need light colors, and I think Paul Rubens also has a pastel set or a macaroon set. I will give you also these links and other oil pastel products in the blog post and in the video description. The pastels are super creamy and you can easily blend them with your fingers, so that's what I love for the purpose I use them for. I love to just make abstracts with them, or to add some final touches to a drawing, so that's important for me. They are super creamy, so details, drawing details with them might be a bit difficult. And some of them are a little bit more dry than others, and some of them have a more flat finish compared to others. I think that's just what the property of the pigment is, if it's more opaque or more transparent. Here you can see this is more of a drier pastel, but you can see that's still easy to blend. This blue seems also a little bit more chunky than the other pastels. That might be that the pigments work differently. I don't have the experience to know that, because I use them not as often Here I picked the silver. That's pretty nice and looks very opaque. Let's try the gold. And that's a bit more transparent. I would say it is a bit weak compared to the silver. I think greens are always very difficult with art supplies. Is it with markers or with pencils or pastels? It's hard to find a nice green. So far I really like that light one. And that's also not bad, looks like a May green, and what I really love is that olive green. The pastels come with a name and a number on their wrapping, on their paper wrapping. I don't know if they are available open stock. I don't think so, but if, of course, I will let you know everything in the video description. There might also be a discount code. At the moment I don't know it while I'm editing the video, but please check the video description. The brown neutral tones are really pretty, I think, and they might be perfect for a loose landscape painting. I want to mix some of them on the bottom of this page, and the red I'm picking here was the one that is a bit more chunky, so not as smooth as the others, or most of the others. And also the blue is one of the more chunkier ones. I will now add a little bit of yellow, but I didn't clean my fingers in between, so I make a bit of a mess. But that's not that important. You can see that they blend really nice, and that gives you also a really interesting texture. So for me, it's really interesting to use it in mixed media and for some abstract paintings. Here I just experiment what will happen when I use a drawing pencil over them. And that's really interesting. Over the thinner areas where the pastel is applied thin, this Derwent drawing pencil goes on top, and on the rest it scratches away the surface, which gives you a really interesting texture and possibilities. And here I picked the white pastel just to see how it goes over the other colors. I think that works pretty nice as long as the layer is not too thick. Like the gray one was very thick, so it was a bit harder to or almost impossible to go over it with the white. What I really love is that you can make a wonderful mess with them. I will now swatch these acrylic markers. I have already tried these before in my sketchbook to test if they are waterproof. And I was really surprised because they are waterproof. They have a brush tip, not as usual acrylic markers with this bullet tip where you have to pump the marker to get the paint out or the ink. This is like a normal brush marker, just with an opaque color that dries waterproof. There is no number or name on the markers, so you just have the cap to see which color it is, and I assume you can't buy them open stock. This one looks a little bit dry. The others are all super juicy. These are perfect for my sketchbook. I use acrylic markers a lot when I want to have something opaque on top over another layer, and with the brush tip they are super unique and perfect to use. What I also love about them, they dry super flat and smooth, and they look not like acrylic, they look more like a gouache. I already got some Arrtx acrylic markers for Christmas. And I have used them a lot. These are double-sided, one with a brush tip and one with a bullet tip for writing or for mark making in a smaller way. And these are gorgeous, but they are not waterproof. But I use them anyway a lot in my sketchbook because I like the effect that you can blend them. So these are like, I would say, the Tombow markers, just in a opaque way. And this is the smaller side of the marker. So these are not really acrylic markers, I would say, because they are not waterproof, but they are also a great opportunity to use for sketching. And as I said, you will find all the links and the information about these products in my video description. And here you can see these are not waterproof, and now I will test this with the other markers, and there you can see they are 100% waterproof. Now I like to show you an abstract art journal page, and I will use the products in the way I usually would use them. I will start with a first layer by adding some of that silver metallic oil pastel to the background to get a resist against the watercolors, which I will use in my next step. The journal I'm working in is a moleskin watercolor journal. I'm using the Myliang watercolors, which are also from Paul Rubens, and I had already a review video on them, and I will link this up in the info box and also in the end cards of this video. I really enjoyed these watercolors and I still use them regularly. I love this box because you have a good collection and also some metallic watercolors, and I took them with me for our spring holidays. I thought about doing kind of a Halloween colored page, so just using the typical Halloween colors. The watercolors are gorgeous. They are transparent, they are vibrant. I never thought that a cheaper Amazon set would be something good, but this set is really great. But Paul Rubens is, I would say, a well-known company in the craft and art group, especially when it comes to the metallic watercolors, which I also love. And if you are starting out with watercolors, I really recommend getting this set because you have a big collection, it's not expensive, and you have a good value. I play intuitively here with the colors. I don't have any plan. That's what I love about art. I enjoy the process. I usually never paint for the finished product because I don't sell my artwork. I just enjoy my supplies and the time I spend making art. And when I paint canvases, which I do, then I usually just do it for me or for our house and maybe for the family. I will let this dry now completely, and then I will come back to add more layers on top. And here you can see how vibrant the watercolors dried. And you can also see the beautiful resist of the metallic silver. I will let this dry again, and then I will come in and add more layers with collaging, stamping, and the oil pastels. And of course, also the acrylic markers. I picked some scrap papers with colors that match my colors on the page, and I just add some of them here and there. I love to get that different texture on an abstract mixed media spread. I will use some stamping ink, and I use the distress oxides here because they are water-based, so that means I can go on top with a fixative on the page. By using oil pastels, you either need to fix the page or you have to lay something in between your pages. I usually just lay a piece of transparent paper between my pages. Also in my sketchbook, I don't mind that the sketchbook then has some extra chunk in it. And also with this journal, I always have something laying in between my pages because not only the oil pastels will transfer, if you use any other kind of crayon or colored pencil, it might transfer to the other page. There is an oil pastel fixative around from Sennelier, but I haven't used that because I didn't get my hands on it, and it's also very expensive. And what I heard from other YouTubers that it does not work super good. I might try it in the future, I will see. I'm going in with the oil pastel now, using that really intense green because that's the perfect Halloween green, I think. I just add some flat areas and some scribbly marks. I love that you can get a really nice texture with oil pastels on watercolor paper that makes a page or a mixed media spread much more interesting, because I love to have different textures on the page. As a focal image, I'm going to use these acrylic markers to draw kind of a leafy shape. With that brush tip, you can get a really interesting line because you can work from really thin to thick. And if you are a lettering artist, these might be perfect for you. Finally, I add a quick sentiment to the page, also with the green from the acrylic markers. I'm not a lettering artist, so my writing is not perfect, but I don't mind that. Yes, and that's my page for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're interested in the products, please check out my description for the links and maybe a discount code, and you will find detailed images over on my blog. Bye!